1, 2, 3, 4. Good morning, everyone. Come on in. Come on in. Good morning. Welcome, welcome, welcome. You're good. You're good. Good. So if you would all like to join me, stand up this morning. Good morning. And we're going to just do a little welcome namaste. This is a real easy song. I know you're all getting used to it. And let's just go for it. Here we go. Welcome to this loving place. There are no strangers here. Welcome to this place of open hearts. Thank you for being here. You're welcome anytime, every time. Just the way you are. Welcome to this joyful place. Let the celebration begin. Namaste, namaste, come on in. Welcome to this loving place. There are no strangers here. Welcome to this place of open hearts. For being here, you're welcome anytime, every time, just the way you are. Welcome to this joyful place. Let the celebration begin. Namaste, namaste, come on in. Let's do a couple more of those. Namaste. Namaste, come on in. One more time. Namaste, namaste, come on in. Nicely done, nicely done. Good morning.
Good morning.
Namaste.
Welcome to Unity of Traverse City. We're happy to have you here today. I'm happy to be here today along with Reverend Kit Holmes offering the service. So we're thankful for the rain, which we needed badly, right? So we're really, really happy to be here today. Would like to open and ground the service with a prayer. So if you'd join me just for a moment, take a breath in. Mother, Father, God, we appreciate this opportunity to gather, connect, and hear and share a message of love. And for this, with an open heart and receptive, we are very grateful. And so it is. Amen. Let's begin with our statement of unity. If you would join me in speaking that together. I am free from limitations of any kind. And so it is.
So it is. Please stand again. Good morning. And I'm going to toss out the word. So you see, I am one, I am one, I am one. If you can't get any other word, just yell out that word, one. And you'll see the next slide, too, is that I create. I'm grateful, all that kind of thing. So here we go. 1, 2, 3. I am one with the power, one with the wisdom, one with all around me, down below and up above. I am one with the power, one with the wisdom. I am one with the presence of universal love. I create with the power, create with the wisdom, create with all around me, down below and up above. I create with the power, create with the wisdom. I create with the presence of universal love. I am grateful for the power, grateful for the wisdom, grateful all around me, down below and up above. I am grateful for the power, grateful for the wisdom. I am grateful for the presence of universal love. I am one with the power, one with the wisdom, one with all around me, down below and up above. I am one with the power, one with the wisdom. I am one with the presence of universal love. I am one with the presence of universal love. It's a lot of words, I know.
I think I neglected to mention, and most of you know me, but I'm Yvette Babin-Ringsmuth, and still happy to be here. So, our announcements, we've got some great announcements this morning. First of all, our August speakers lineup is finalized starting today with Reverend Kit Holmes, unless she leaves before the message starts. Next Sunday, Reverend Joe Kelly will be here, ready to share with us an incredible, heartfelt message, as usual, I'm sure. And on the 21st, we hope that Reverend Judy Grimes will be feeling well enough to join us then. And Kit Holmes will return on the 28th to finish off our August lineup. Yeah. Our fall book series will be starting in September, and here with some information is Vicki Green. Vicki? Here you are, Vicki? Vicki?
Flying by the seat of my pants here. Great. So we chose the book for the fall program, which is The Eye of the Storm. And I'm hearing that we've done that book before. So I just want to acknowledge, if you're going to say, wait a minute, we did that a few years ago. I acknowledge that, yes, I'm aware that we've done that at some point. And I've talked to a few people who said, let's do it again. It seems like a really timely book. It's about dealing with conflict and finding our center in the middle of conflict. And I think it'll be a great intro to Yvette's program that she's going to do that she'll tell you at some point. Anyways, The first line of fire here is that we need people, we need hosts and hostesses to have the fall program either at your house. For those of you who are not familiar with the fall program, it's going to be a 6-week program this fall. We meet weekly for 6 weeks, usually at somebody's house, sometimes here. Some of the meetings can be held. So I'm hoping that you might consider host or hostessing. And if you're uncomfortable doing that by yourself, you're going to be gone for a week, consider the idea of co-hosting with somebody else so that somebody else can take over for you while you're gone. Interestingly enough, choosing this book and dealing with conflict, it's like, there it is right in my face. So my team, the education team, right now is Joy, if you know Joy, and Kate. And Joy told me this morning that she's moving away to Arizona and won't be here. So we're losing our education, we're losing parts of our education team, and I'm just thinking, okay, God, I'm going to trust the universe, and it's all going to work out, and we'll all either work at it or fly by the seat of our pants, but it's going to work out. So thank you.
Awesome.
The good news about having a class on conflict and how to resolve it is we have lots of opportunities to practice, right? It's not like taking a foreign language class and you go out in Traverse City and there's just no one to talk to. All of a sudden, conflict is the opportunity, the thing to work on. So, yay for us. Okay. Father Fred Backpack program is the next item. And we've been doing this for a number of years, and we are grateful that Kelly Lambert is quite involved over at Father Fred, and he is here to share more on that announcement. Thank you, Kelly.
Good morning, and thank you for this opportunity to remind you that next week, start bringing in your donation. Share your prosperity, show your blessings. The point of this is to provide snacks, small things to eat for children to take home. It goes with them on Friday afternoons when they leave school, so they have something to have for snacks over the weekend. If you remember your young children and your young grandchildren, you know snack is the most important meal of the day for them. And for these families that are experiencing food insecurity, it's nice when these kids have something to take home and have at their home over their weekend. So next week, we will have the table there. For the next 3 weeks, it will be there. And next week, I will tell you more about the program because I am intimately involved with things at Father Fred concerning food for children. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
By the seat of my pants, I was supposed to call Raleigh up to say a few words about his fall experience. So if you could.
So we'll go back. Raleigh,
Rewind.
join us. We're flexible. I'm going to give you this just so we make sure that it is heard.
Good morning. As we approach Labor Day, the tradition at Unity of Traverse City goes back a long time for this, what we refer to as the fall program. And Vicki did a good job of explaining the general aspect of it. There was a book chosen usually by a minister in the education team, for those of you that may be new or not familiar with that. And after Labor Day, we'd meet generally once a week. It was always nice when we could go to somebody's house, or Nancy and I have hosted it many times, and many other folks in the church have hosted kind of on geographical locations around where as many, like 4 or 5 or as many as 7 or 8 would gather, and we'd read ahead of time a few pages or a few chapters of the book, and then there was a study guide prepared by the minister and the education team with questions or subjects of thought, mainly according to Unity principles. The books were by some Unity authors, others not, but certainly in line with Unity principles there. I really liked the idea of the small groups because we get to know each other, and always somebody has something to contribute that is valuable, and you may have something on your mind or a question that you throw out just to see the response of other people, and that's what I really liked about it, is just to get to know each other, and then something that spiritually that maybe I have a question about, maybe there aren't any answers, but at least to get other feelings, other people's ideas on it. It's a wonderful time, and this, like Vicki said, will be 6 weeks or 6 times at different times, and those that are prospective hosts, or if you'd like to be a part of a group, there'll be time to sign up for that in the future. And the hosts don't necessarily facilitate the discussion for that particular day. We've been in groups where even though we met at somebody else's house, somebody within the group is designated to facilitate that particular discussion, and so you get a chance to discuss something that may be on your mind or somebody else have. We do have, I don't know, Vicki's, in the past we've had little agreements or guidelines as to the meeting, and it's certainly a safe place to discuss intimate feelings, and we make the agreement to usually start with a prayer, we end with a prayer, and just a good time. And I know it's certainly been a benefit for me through the years, and look forward to it again.
Thanks for sharing that. All right. I don't know how many of you have been following our website, but our new website is up and running as of last Tuesday. And thank you very much to the tireless efforts and persistence of Meg Gray, who is not here today, unfortunately, but if you see her next week, or whenever you do see her, please thank her profusely, because she put a lot of effort into it. Take a look at our new website. It looks great. So thank you to Meg Gray for all of her work. As you may have seen in our newsletter, the electronic newsletter, we're going to have grounds cleanup this coming week. Lisa Dawson has volunteered to do some... Did I miss something?
This slide.
Oh, okay. I thought. Okay, Lisa Dawson has volunteered to do some necessary weeding, trimming, and picking up sticks from 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. this week. She will be here beginning tomorrow, and would like to invite everyone who enjoys this type of project to join in, lend a hand, and make some new friends. Bring your own lawn tools and be prepared to have some fun. So any day this week from 10 to noon. Thank you, Lisa, to that. And today is Script Order Fundraising Sunday. So order your materials. The order materials and information of the participating stores are found in the hallway here towards the congregation hall. And you can see the places. The best thing to do, it's the easiest fundraiser ever. The places you normally shop at, look on the list and see if they're on there, because then you're not going out of your way, you're not spending money you wouldn't normally spend, but you are giving money to the church just by buying the gift card for that place, and then you use it when you shop. So it's a really, really easy way to do it. You just got to plan a little bit in advance. And of course, if you have any big project you're going to be undertaking and purchasing building materials or anything like that from Home Depot or somewhere, that could be a huge windfall as well. So if you have, I struggle with thinking that far in advance, but if any of you are better at that than me, you can think about those places that have gift cards as well. And I think that is it. Kit?
Thank you, Yvette. Stay seated for this next one. You know the melody, you'll hear it, just some different words by Peter Mayer, and you may be familiar with it, maybe not. But here we go. Though below me I feel no motion, standing on these mountains and plains, far away from the rolling ocean, still my dry land heart can say. I've been sailing all my life now, never harbor or port have I known. The wide universe is the ocean I travel, and the earth is my blue boat home. Sun, my sail, and wind, my rudder, as I ply the starry seas, leaning over the edge in wonder, casting questions to the deep, drifting here with my ship's companions, all we kindred pilgrim souls, making our way by the light of the heavens in our beautiful blue boat home. I give thanks to the waves upholding me, hail the great winds urging me on, greet the infinite sea before me, sing the sky my sailor's song. I've been sailing all my life now, never harbor or port have I known. The wide universe is the ocean I travel, and the earth is my blue boat home. The wide universe is the ocean I travel, and the earth is my blue boat home. Isn't that beautiful?
Thank you. That was a beautiful lead-in to our time of meditation. And so as the lights come down, and keep that vision that Kit just sung for us in your mind, I invite you to take a nice cleansing breath and release that. Let it go. Watch that blue boat just floating along. Release from our daily word from today perfectly. My life experiences have provided me with many gifts, from joyous to painful. I've taken something from each one. A nugget of wisdom, understanding, solace. That has helped me evolve into the person I am today. I'm always growing, always changing. With gratitude, I receive the blessings while letting the painful moments go. I have no room for regret. I do not dwell on things I have no power to change. As I release unwanted thoughts and unpleasant memories, I free myself to enjoy new experiences and create beautiful, lasting memories. With an uncluttered mind and an unburdened heart, I embrace the present moment and eagerly create my bright, beautiful future. And I invite you to take this idea and sentiment as your own in the silence. And as you move back into this space, I invite you to imagine brushing off and releasing any of those things that didn't serve you, that came to mind, and embracing the bright, beautiful future. And for this time to reflect, we are grateful. Amen.
I see trees of green, red roses too. I see them bloom for me and you, and I think to myself, what a wonderful world. I see skies of blue, clouds of white, the bright blessed day and the dark sacred night, and I think to myself, what a wonderful world. Colors of the rainbow are pretty in the sky, are also on the faces of people passing by. I see friends shaking hands, saying, how do you do? They're really saying, hear babies cry, I watch them grow. They'll learn so much more than I'll ever know. What a wonderful world. Yes, I think to myself, what a wonderful world. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Oh, I'm so sorry about that. So I'm going to ask you, it is a little warm and a little sticky in here today. Hat on, hat off. Off. Whatever's good for me. Okay, thank you. So good morning once again. What a wonderful world. My first question to you this morning, of course we got the rain, and I'm down in Manistee, and there was a lovely, lovely light show about 4 o'clock this morning. And thankfully, because of the air conditioner, my dog didn't hear too much of the thunder. So she stayed mostly calm. But I want to ask you, other than the rain and needing to, out of necessity, we don't have a choice, hearing a thunderstorm, seeing the thunder, the lightning, when was the last time that any of you actually purposefully, consciously connected with Earth? Yesterday. Good for you. This morning. Besides getting up and walking on the earth this morning to get here, driving here, but took a moment to say, I'm just going to stop and look and see what a wonderful world it is that we live in, what an abundant universe we live in. Many of you remember, you're old enough, yes, I'm looking around the room, remembering the shot from the Apollo, from the moon of the earth, the big blue marble. That beautiful, stunning picture from way out there all those years ago that just showed this beautiful thing just floating in space, staying in its orbit millions upon years that we can sort of, in our human limited thinking, calculate that it's been going on that long. The wonder of our galaxy. My talk this morning is called The Big Blue Marble, the blue boat home. I feel the earth move, all of those things. Our connection, we cannot have a connection to God without our connection to nature. That is my theory, that's my experience, that is my belief. We can't. Because if we go back to the beginning of the very first thing, the very first principle in unity and in any of the new thought, in any of anything, is that God is all there is. Nature comes from God. Everything comes from God. There is a divine pattern to everything, why we are here. And I want to clarify that for us individually, us, the microcosms of the macrocosm of the cosms, that divine pattern does not mean that we are the same. That divine pattern does not mean that there is something that we don't have any say in. We are not victims of fate. We are not buffered around by this. Well, we can be buffered around, but buffeted around by the storms of life. But we are endowed with that thing called free choice, free will and choice. But when we speak of the divine pattern, it is that we, as humans, have within us the DNA, the pattern of life that says we are showing up in human form. There's a divine pattern to everything. An acorn will produce an oak tree. That is the divine pattern. A grass seed will produce grass. A tomato seed will produce tomatoes, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. That is what we mean by the divine pattern. The individuality of us, that personality, that soul part of us, is the uniqueness of us. But we are divinely patterned to be expressions of the one mind, the one intelligence, the one love, God, whatever name you give it. And there are the patterns of life.
We see from space, the big blue marble, we can see, and of course all of our satellites now, we can hone in on storm systems coming across. We know now with weather prediction when those storms are most likely to come. They are still not pinpointed accuracy, but we have a little bit more of a heads up than we used to. We can see from space when we have things forming in the ocean that become typhoons or hurricanes. And if we zoom in a little bit closer, one of the things that I love about flying is being above the earth and being able to look down and see the patterns of the earth, especially around rivers, bodies of water. Because if you look at them, the rivers and the tributaries and the arteries are just like what we see inside of our human bodies, our circulatory system. They're also the same kind of patterns in trees. If you look at the tributaries going into a river, or you go to the delta where it fans out, it looks like the root system and the branch system of trees and plants. So that divine design, of course, is infinitely intelligent, infinitely awesome, I think. And as God's timing is always awesome and right on time. This last week, actually just a couple of days ago, there is a documentary on Netflix called Fantastic Fungi. How many of you have seen it? I highly recommend it. I see a couple of hands. You know what I'm talking about. Beneath anything else, I mean, we've always heard that if there's a nuclear disaster, that the roaches will be the only thing that survive. Actually, it will be the fungi, because it created everything. It is the creator. It is the nature's kind of recycling mechanism. And the cool thing about it is that it's mostly focused on mushrooms, the mycelia. And all mushrooms come from mycelia, but not all mycelia produce mushrooms. I learned that. One of the things that came to mind, of course, here in northern Michigan, in the northern regions in the spring, we know about the morels, do we not? And how delicious they are. And there are also all these medicinal properties, of course, that ancient civilizations have been using for hundreds of thousands of years. As long as we've been around, there's been medicinal properties to mushrooms. We are cycling back around after kind of a 30-year demonization of mushrooms that in microdosing are finding that soldiers with PTSD, anybody with PTSD, Alzheimer's, other things, the ability to open our minds to getting us back to that place where we remember our connection to the divine. What would look like miraculous healings are beginning to happen and beginning to be further researched. They were shut down for a number of years because it was demonized. How can this be? How can this natural thing that God made help us think clearly? How can it help us heal? I'm so glad to see it, and I highly recommend it. Even if you're not interested in mushrooms, the cinematography is phenomenal. The colors and everything that goes, it's so very well done. So, Fantastic Fungi on Netflix. I have no connection to the film. I just watched it. I was so inspired. And promising because of what it can do in terms of cancer treatment. A little update for you on that. I had surgery on the 28th, a little over, so like 10, 12 days ago. Here I am, yes, upright, functional. Thank you. Yes, to toot my own horn, and also to affirm and reiterate the power of knowing our connection to the divine. I know many of you, where's Brenda? There you are in the back. Thank you, Brenda. I found her, subscribed to the website, and let me know that many of you in the prayer groups have been praying for me. I know a lot of people have, and I know that it works. And thank you for that so very, very much. But our mental capacity, the things that we were gifted with in nature by that one source, gives us the opportunity. And as far as we know right now, we are the only sentient beings that have the ability to use our conscious mind to change our subconscious mind or to become aware. We're the only species that has an awareness of our awareness. that we know of. I'm beginning to think that's not true with other species. Why? Because nature is always evolving. Our nature, our human nature, we are designed and built to evolve and grow and explore and expand, just as our galaxies, plural, billions of them, are designed to expand, to evolve, to grow. And some are going to die off. It's the nature of nature. It is the cycle of life. It is also the nature of our consciousness to grow and expand, to become more of the expression of that one thing that made all things. God is all there is. I believe, let me see, who am I going to quote? Oh, Henry David Thoreau, heaven is under our feet as well as over our heads. So as I was talking about the fantastic fungi and the intelligence of the communication of those systems, that interconnectedness, help trees and plants communicate with one another. When there is something coming in to perhaps use a tree as food, there's a system of communication that brings in all of these other things that will keep one alive, keep the mother tree alive, and then produce lots more offspring to keep the cycle going and expanding and growing. It is the same with us. Einstein said, look deep into nature and you will understand everything better. That is my invitation to you. And my question to you this morning was, when was the last time you consciously connected? Because when we look, when we take a higher view, a higher vision, and we see things like river tributaries, and we say, wow, that sure looks like tree roots and branches. Wow, that looks like the circulatory system. There's a divine design. I think there's a reason for that. It gives us a better understanding of getting outside of our limited selves and saying, wow, there's a whole lot more going on in the world than I thought. And it's all connected. Absolutely, unequivocally connected. So that is the place where I am going with this today, is the divine patterns of our lives. Again, I said not fate, there's purpose. We have purpose. We spend a whole lot of time, and I have spent a whole lot of time in my life, what is my purpose? When we connect with nature, this is what I understand, this is what I know from my experience. When we connect with the whole of nature and recognize that God is in all of it, what could have designed these magnificent, elegant systems and crazy stuff like we're seeing now with the new telescope? That we've gotten to this place where we can measure, and it's like, wait a minute, who came up with a light year? Who figured that out? And how do we continue to go backward and forward and saying the things that we are seeing now with this new telescope are hundreds of billions of years? It's like, how do you know that? It is our theory. It is our tuning into. It is those people who had a burning desire within, had a impetus that we all have to explore, and said, how do we figure this out? How many thousands of years ago were people looking at the sky? We are still looking at that same sky. That the constellations that are constant, they move very little, but we are looking at the same sky. This Friday, we are going to be looking at the same full moon that all of the philosophers and Jesus and all of the mystics and everybody else since the beginning of time have looked up and went, whoa. Or, oh my God, what is that? Think about the magnitude of that. We take for granted, we most of the time ignore. We take for granted that the sun will come up. And we know scientifically it's not really the sun rising over us. We've moved beyond that. We know that the earth rotates around the sun and rotates on its own axis. But the magnitude of recognizing the system of nature, that in itself can't do anything for me but take me right to God. There is something, and it is not judgmental, it is not punitive, it is not testing us to see if we recognize it. We put that on ourselves with that thing that we have called choice and free will. We use it against other people. We use fear. We use our best, we think are doing our best, telling people this is how things work, when really it is our relationship to the divine, our interconnectedness and our interdependence on that energy, and our interconnectedness and interdependence on each other to help each other get to that awesome experience of God. There are those things, as we go back to the fantastic mushrooms, that help us get to that space. I've never done them personally. But that same description of people that, again, when we can get to the place that we remember at such a deep level that we are never separate from it. We are not ever separate from nature. We can't be. If we are separate from nature, it means we are not breathing. We are not recognizing the fact that there is oxygen always around us until we recognize there's not. And go, uh-oh, there's no air in the room. Or I'm going under the water and I can't breathe. Or I'm having a panic attack and I can't breathe. And what do? To calm our nervous systems, we take a breath. That, my friends, is the quickest way that I know to return myself to turning my conscious mind to God. It still takes a little bit of practice when I'm freaking out about something. When an old paradigm that wants to move and shift and grow and heal and be released, because I am an evolving spiritual being, when those come up and sneak up on me and kind of whap me sideways, and I know when I'm off. And I know when I want to ignore that feeling. I want to ignore what is this? Oh, I don't want to look at it right now. I want to distract because I feel like my practice thinking says, this is going to hurt. This is going to make me cry. This is going to make me mad at somebody. Might throw me into a little victimhood, kind of some things. But I know enough practice. And I practice enough to take a breath and turn the thought immediately back to the source that knows all, that created all, that designed everything. And in that moment, I can affirm everything is okay. Those usually sneak up on me in the middle of the night. I don't know about you. Around 3:30, 4 in the morning. Get a little hot and roll over and go. And breathing back in and breathing, and it's so simple. Breathing in God, breathing out anxiety. Breathing in God, breathing out trust. And if that doesn't work, I got up, I think it might have been Wednesday or Thursday night when there was some other storms that came through. Whichever night that was. I think it was about 3:30 in the morning, and the wind and so forth, and I was so comfortable, and I kept seeing flashes, and I was like, really? And I got up and I looked at the radar on my phone and went, oh, look at that. And just because I could, and I felt drawn to do it, I was standing in my driveway in my pajamas, looking at the light show, just in the breeze, just going, this is all I need to do. To remember there is something so much bigger than me, so much more intelligent, so much more loving, so much more supportive, and all of that's like, wow. Talk about grounding. And as you can tell, I'm kind of a weather nerd. I love storms. I love the energy of storms because I can't control them. It reminds me I don't have any control. Many of you know, until last summer, I was a resident of Texas, and coming up here every summer and spending a lot of time. I grew up in Michigan. And last week, and over the last couple of weeks, if you're watching any of the news down there, the wildfires, it's been triple digits for about 2 months in a row, nothing below 100. And in several years of severe drought. And so any drop, any spark, any dropped cigarette is fueling brush fires and wildfires. And this last week, there was one very, very close to Unity of Wimberley, where I was the associate spiritual leader and music director for a long time. And so there was a lot of activity on texts, and is everybody okay, and evacuations and so forth. And it was timely, as it always is with God, that a colleague of mine who this month wrote the daily guides in Science of Mind magazine. I want to share this with you because he talks about, it's all about nature. Oh, what do you know? Nature. And he talks about, they're in British Columbia, he and his wife, and they founded the Kelowna Center for Spiritual Living many, many years ago. And he says, in August of 2003, a wildfire started by a lightning strike ravaged our community. It burned for 3 weeks and consumed more than 230 homes. The fire was in the south, and we lived on a mountain in the north. I could see the fire burning. I watched as 400-foot flames moving at incredible speeds tore through areas I grew up in. 64,000 acres of forested mountains, pristine valleys, and everything else in its way. I was devastated. Nothing could stop it. At the peak of the fire, he and his wife performed a wedding ceremony. It was held on a ski hill in a beautiful alpine glade well away from the fire. The wedding party set up a chapel right on the mountainside. The meadow began to fill up with guests. He said, Deb and I took our places at the front by the arbor. Just before the bride walked down the aisle, we heard a shout. Looking up, I could see a brown bear walking nonchalantly up the meadow. Following her were 3 young cubs. As she neared, the audience politely and with some trepidation moved to the side of the meadow. We followed suit. The bear and her cubs walked straight up the aisle, past the arbor, and continued further into the mountain. After she had passed and the nervous laughter subsided, we married the couple. And then he goes on to say, that mama bear reminded me of something. She and her ancestors had been walking that trail since the beginning of time. That was her path, not ours. Nature takes care of itself. The fires are the same. They have been visiting our valley for millions of years, and where they were burning was their path, not ours. Nature always cleanses. Yep. So when we think about this beautiful earth that we are stewards of, this is my question again to you today, is consciously connecting. There has been a lot of talk about climate change. We know that we affect the climate. And when we work with nature, when we get out of its path, we do a whole lot better. As I go back to swinging back around to those mushrooms, when we work with the power of nature, there is tremendous collaboration and tremendous healing can come from that, and I absolutely believe we can do that. We can do that as humans. This is it. Until we start colonizing other planets, this is it. This is our home. We are beginning to see climate refugees that is going to already causing a lot of political and all of the usual things that happen when people move from one place to another. And we can do this. We can do this well. We can do it together. We can do the healing when we collaborate. I know I'm preaching to the choir here around that. But the best way that we can do that is to remind ourselves just what a precious home we have. Not only with the earth, but with our bodies. the microcosm on the macrocosm level. So be kind to yourselves. Do what is yours to do to take care of your earth. Do what you can do, what you are called to do, connecting with God, to know what is yours to do, to connect with each other, to connect with the planet, connect with the cosmos. Take a moment every now and then to go out in the middle of the night and look up. I highly recommend that. And know that it is all good because it is all God and it can't be anything else but good. So thank you. I'm glad to see you again today, looking healthy in your earth suits, healthy and happy in your earth suits. Be well, take care of one another, take care of the planet. Namaste.
Thank you, Kit, for that lovely reminder of where we're living. I know every day when I go out and water my plants or pick my kale, it's my little gentle reminder, but that was way more inspiring than just what I was doing. So thank you. I would like to, as we move into our prosperity blessing, just mention that today is Brooke's birthday. So we could do a quick happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Brooke.
Happy birthday to you.
I was wondering if I could wear my birthday suit.
I think that's entirely up to you.
Thought that was perfect to include with our prosperity and blessings because you are definitely one of ours. This is now our time of offering and a time to share our financial gifts with the ministry. As children of a loving God, we live in the light of abundance and deeply grateful for all that has been given and all that is to come. And we embrace the good that God provides with joy and thanksgiving. And if you could join me together in speaking our prosperity blessing words. Together, divine love through me blesses and multiplies all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive. Thank you, Mother, Father, God. Thank you. And so it is.
It is. Here we go.
Amen.
1, 2, 3, 4. Gonna keep on doing what's mine to do. If I get sideways, I just remember the truth. Just keep doing what's mine to do. I keep my mind open, listen for clues. I do my best not to fill other people's shoes. 'Cause everybody's got their own thing to do. I gotta keep on, keep on, keep on, keep on, keep on doing what's mine to do. Now, are you doing what's yours to do? Are you in somebody else's business? Mm-mm-mm. 'Cause that'll put you sideways, that's the truth. You gotta keep on, keep on, keep on, keep on, keep on doing what's yours to do. I gotta keep on doing what's mine to do. I never get sideways, and I remember the truth. If I could remember the chords, that'd be even better. Just the next step of doing what's mine to do. Just the next step of doing what's mine to do. It's just the next step of doing what's mine to do. Thank you.
Way to wrap up the service. I wanted to, first of all, make sure that we welcome any first-time guests. If there's anyone here for the first time or you'd like some more information on Unity of Traverse City, our ushers do have a packet of information that they can give to you on your way out the door. So please ask them for that. And also our prayer chaplains will be available after the service up here and at the back of the sanctuary for any private prayer that you might like. And we can gather at this time in a circle for our closing prayer. There we go. Sue will fill that space. Thank you, Sue. All right, let's just close our eyes for a moment and take a breath out in gratitude for this time we've had together. Mother, Father, God, we are so appreciative of this time we've been able to share together. We move forward in our week recognizing that we are all one. With the planet, with the plants, with one another. And we are each but different versions of Christ's Spirit. And we move forward, each one of us on our own paths this week with that powerful knowledge of oneness. And for this we are grateful. Amen. And I invite you at this time to speak any names that you'd like to put into the circle for powerful prayer. And together we speak our prayer for protection. Together, the light of God surrounds us, the love of God enfolds us, the power of God protects us, and the presence of God watches over us. Wherever we are, God is, and all is well.